I'm very honored to have been asked to moderate. Should be functioning? Yeah, it's a light. Yeah? No, you don't hear anything? Oh. Let's try it again. Okay. I'm very honored to have been asked to moderate this first session of our global seminar entitled Towards a Global Culture, Multilingualism, Opportunity and Development. This session will look at the intrinsic value of linguistic diversity and how, in a globalizing world, languages can contribute to social and economic development. Some of the obvious channels for this are preservation of linguistic and cultural diversity, education, communication, access to information, and internet technology. Language is not only a tool for communication and knowledge, it is also a fundamental attribute of cultural identity and empowerment, both for the individual and the group. This applies to majority groups, to minorities, whether traditionally resident in a country or more recent migrants, and to indigenous peoples. Economic as well as cultural goods are being exchanged along with the current process of globalization. This implies that not only the economy, but also cultural products such as art, music, fashion, lifestyle, communication, and language are being globalized. Languages, with their complex implications for identity, communication, social integration, education, and development, are increasingly under threat or disappearing altogether due to globalization processes. When languages fade, so does the world's rich tapestry of cultural diversity. Language as an essential component of intercultural education has to be enhanced in order to encourage understanding between different population groups and ensure respect for fundamental rights. The Universal Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples was adopted by the General Assembly in September 2007. Article 14 mentions the right of indigenous peoples, I quote, to establish and control their educational systems and institutions providing education in their own languages. Language is a prime vehicle of communication, socialization, and public life. Article 16 of the Universal Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People mentions the rights of indigenous people to establish their own media in their own languages. Education in many countries of the world takes place in multilingual contexts. The challenge is for education systems to provide a quality education which takes into consideration learners' needs and political demands. While uniform solutions for plural societies may be both administratively and managerially simpler, they disregard the risks involved both in terms of learning achievement and loss of linguistic and cultural diversity. As a means of communication, language is essential to achieving universal primary education and to responding to public health issues. Importantly, the use of mother tongues as a medium of instruction, particularly in primary education, is proven to affect positively access to learning, inclusion in schools, and learning outcomes. In addition, it improves children's attendance, interactions, and performance in school.
Allow me to say a few words in this context of the experience in my country in the area of education and multilingualism. Luxembourg has two official languages, French and German, and we have one national language, Luxembourgian. 44% of the school-aged children have a mother language other than that of Luxembourg. The biggest community is that of the Portuguese speakers. At 6 years, the children learn German with Luxembourgeois. This becomes the teaching language in elementary school. At the second year of primary school, French is brought in and eventually increases in importance until it becomes the vehicle language as they move into the secondary school cycle. So German, French, and Luxembourgeois are the three languages. In primary school, English is taught as a foreign language, and it is compulsory for 95% of students. The students can choose, however, to take Portuguese, Spanish, or Italian. We must say also that we have extremely high levels of students failing, and these numbers are significant. Schools in Luxembourg are schools in which the children from defranchised families have difficulty in succeeding. The Council of Europe has established profiles of our country in 2005, and this shows that many children do take on remarkable skills in several languages. And Luxembourg has an example of ambitious and successful linguistic policy. If the promotion of multilingualism is present, there is a need for this small country, which owes its prosperity to the opening of its borders. There is a need to know several languages. This is widely recognized. This is demanding for many children who have language learning problems. Many children do not attain their diplomas. Offering a bi- or trilingual teacher to 100% children and not just the elite demands considerable effort. Further, the growing heterogeneity of the population makes more than half of the children live in a situation in which none of the languages spoken in school are spoken in their homes. The traditional trilingualism in school is on the backdrop of plurilingual reality of many of our children. We are trying to maintain our multilingualism in school, while at the same time making sure that this is not an unsurmountable obstacle to children's ability to succeed.
Can contribute to socioeconomic development. Access to information. Access to information is crucial to development. Translation of literature and news media and the wider use of languages in cyberspace or on internet will determine whether someone is included or excluded from a knowledge cycle and dialogue. Information and communication technologies are continually changing our world, and data exchange is becoming global. However, the digital divide remains. This access inequality is also a linguistic inequality, as the languages dominating the web are often not spoken by many people who need access to information to foster their development. Today, we also have to be concerned with the cultural and linguistic diversity on the internet. It is important to achieve worldwide access to e-contents in all languages, improve the linguistic capabilities of users, and create and develop tools for multilingual access to the internet in information.
As you can see, the subject of our discussion this morning has many facets. Our speakers will help to delve deeper into these facets. Our first speaker is His Excellency Ambassador Adama Samasekou. He is the Executive Secretary ad interim of the African Academy of Languages through to December 2003. Mr. Samasekou was in charge of the preparatory conference for the Global Summit on the Information Society. Before holding this post, the ambassador was also through 2000, the Minister of Education in Mali, and through to 2000 as well, he was a government spokesperson. He is a member of the High Council for Francophonie between 2003 and 2006. He is today a member of the Bureau of the International Office of Academies and president for Philosophical and Humanist Studies. Mr. Samassougou is the founding president of the ADEMA France body. He has also works with Africa and specifically in Mali for the People's Movement for Education and Human Rights. Since October 2005, the ambassador has been the president of the IC Volunteers Federation. Since February 2006, he has held the post of president at Maya, a global network for linguistic diversity. He has masters in philology and linguistics in Moscow, and degrees from Sorbonne in language, and also degrees in organizational science. In Paris, Mr. Samassougou was the head of the language department at the Science and Humanistic Language of Mali, and also works in the National Library, and Minister in charge of Culture. Mr. Ambassador, you have the floor.